Hey, hey, what's going on, y'all? AKA Promotions in the building at Street Media. You already know this is Karen, and we are out here. We are the plug. You already know. So we sitting here with my girl Fancy today, and we just gonna go ahead. We just gonna go ahead with it.
Get into
So
it.
yeah, first thing I want to talk about is basketball.
Okay.
So how did that become something that was major in your life at one point?
I would say when you think of things that are pivotal and just major in your life in general, that's probably the top three. Okay. Other than, family first and everything, just morals and stuff, but just like me, like my nickname was Pookie. Everybody knew me as Pookie. If you knew Pookie, you knew she walked around with a basketball, and that was just it.
Okay.
I think I was like 5, and I told my father I wanted to play, and he bought me a Fisher Price hoop, and I've been bowling all my life, literally. So
started from there. That's what's up, Dad.
Yeah.
All right. So then, what age and when did the hip hop? Then when did that become a passion? And you was like, "Wait, this is something that I got to do."
What's crazy is when I usually tell people like the relation, they're intertwined really, music and basketball, because on the way to those practices, on the way to those games, weekend tournaments. I spent my life at basketball tournaments. I just want to say that from the age of 12 to 17. Every weekend, that's all I did. But on the way to those tournaments, on the way to just practice, going from one part of Queens to the other part of Queens, driving through Queens, it's my father taking me to practice. And he's playing Pharoah Monch, and he's playing Run DMC, and he's playing hip hop, and I just grew like a really liking to just lyricism. Because here, listen to Common, De La Soul, just artists nowadays that I feel like honestly, I feel like they don't get the props that they should. Just their lyrical capability. So it's really thanks to my father again, between basketball and
shout out to Dad.
Shout out to him. And he's actually my toughest critique. So I sent something to him, and I'm like, "You like it?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, you like it.
Well, at least you know that's one person that's always going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, he's always going to tell you the real deal. So be thankful for that, because a lot of people don't have that.
Yes.
All right, so the basketball, you into the hip hop. So you've been paying attention. You've been out. I see you've been doing a lot of shows.
Yeah.
You really out there. So much props to you for that, because it's not easy. And me being somebody who wished that their voice was like on 1,000 so I could just open it and sing anything. The fact that people can get up on a stage and perform and just that whole process, like, I give you guys props, because that's something that I would be standing there like, I can't know.
Like,
So definitely shout out to you. But as far as the new hip hop females that are coming out now, how are you feeling about that? As far as do you think you can add something to the table that that they may be trying to add or have already added in the female hip hop world?
I like this question a lot. So, and it's funny you say that as far as like timidness, because I was a very introverted kid. So when family members see video like of me on stage, they're like, "I can't believe like you barely spoke." But I am a very tough critique of just hip-hop in general, but even tougher when it comes to the females. Okay. And that's just me just being a female and just wanting for female rap to just flourish way more than what it is. And I feel like right now there is a lot of sisterhood and empowerment when it comes to Nicki Minaj jumping on features and Cardi B jumping on features. At times I used to say, and you could probably look at old interviews where I'm like, "Oh, it's overly sexualized." But when you listen to it, I'm not going to throw an artist's name out there, but when you listen to a male song and it's like overly sexualized, I feel like as just a listening ear, we're so used to it that it's just like, because a guy can say the same thing just in a different way. Or the same exact thing, the same exact act. And when a female says it, it's like, whoa, females are overly sexualized, and men, it's just like, that's just what it is. Yeah. So at first, usually it's overly sexualized, but I feel like right now, female rap is flourishing. I wish there were more lyricism. And I love the competitiveness, as people would say, between certain artists. I love it. Okay. And I love the sisterhood that I'm seeing as well, the empowerment. But I do feel like there is those who are overly lyrical, they're looked over for those that are more sexually
that
open
can
and explicit.
Bring the
right.
sexual into it a little bit more, yeah.
Yeah.
But see, this is why I'm really big on independence. Because even if you feel that way with the masses, you can still come out in your own energy and your own vibe, doing your own thing, and people are going to hear what you're saying. They're listening to your rhymes, your lyrics, so that's always going to be the most important thing.
Yeah.
The fashion and, the clothes and the body and all that is great, but that's short term. That's very short term. So, definitely stay focused on, your lyrics, what you're saying, what you're trying to bring, and the encouragement that you're trying to bring to other young female rappers, because it's not easy. You see the glitz and the glam, and, sometimes people forget that it's hours in the studio, sometimes days.
Yeah.
It's a lot of writing, a lot of creativity, a lot of alone time to think, get your thoughts together. So how do you deal with that process of getting your thoughts and your rhymes?
Honestly, and when I say this, everybody's like, ooh, but it comes like so natural for me. I think it may have been one instance where I don't want to say pressure, but it may have been a feature, or I think it may have just been a beat that I was working on that I didn't necessarily care for.
Okay.
And I felt like I was forcing myself make it work instead of saying, that's just not the beat for what I'm going for.
Okay.
So
I was trying to be open, trying to see if you could work with it. But
just trying to stay as open as possible. But I'm not going to lie. It's a lot of beats and it's a lot of scraps that I just like, nah, this is not going to work. But it comes natural. I get excited to write, or like my writing process, I'll be at work and then a bar will come and then now I have a whole 16 and it's like,
okay,
that
was nothing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I feel you.
Yeah. I don't know. Nothing. It's fun. It's really fun.
And that's exactly when I feel like you should be doing it. When it's fun, when it's something that you consider fun. It's not work. It's like I gotta think. I gotta figure this out. So that's actually great that you're in that situation. I see that you're from Queens.
Yes.
And you mentioned Shadyville.
Oh yeah, big Shadyville.
Okay, so we're going to dive into that a little bit.
Okay.
So you're how old, if you don't mind me asking?
30.
Okay.
I just hit 30.
So you was outside. What junior high school did you go to?
I actually left my neighborhood. I went to 172, which is like Floral Park, basically Long Island.
Okay.
But my zone school is 109, and everybody that went to my elementary school went to 109, and I could have went to 109. I was with everybody at 109.
Yeah. So no, it's not where I'm going to be at. Okay.
Yeah. So, and then I went to high school. I went to Francis Lewis High School.
Okay.
My zone school is Van Buren. I think I probably applied to that school. I don't think I got in or something crazy. I was like, what? Okay. But Francis Lewis, I got into Francis Lewis. So.
All right, Queens in the building.
Yeah, big Queens.
I went to Jackson. So
okay, Jack is. When I speak to my father, he's like, yeah, I used to cut class to go to your uncle's gym class. Yeah, Jack was it. That was the spot.
So what is next? What shows are coming up? What albums you trying to release? Like what's coming up? I was listening to. I don't even want to say the name wrong because I have an issue with PH words.
Okay.
But you know which song I'm trying to say because I said PH. That's the start, the two first letters of the song. Okay, we're gonna let you get back to that. But we're gonna let you get back to that. Yeah. So what's coming? What's next?
Right now, I'm working on an EP. I'm titling it Hors d'oeuvres.
Okay. Yes.
And the reason is more so like my last project, I really felt like I gave my all. And it's like on I'm going to still give y'all my all, but I'm going to just give y'all hors d'oeuvres. Like, you're not going to get the full prefix menu. It's not going to be, not the dessert included, but I'll give you an hors d'oeuvre.
Wait. Just as somebody that has listened to your music and everything, I would say I would feel cheated. Well, because hors d'oeuvres is good, but so you're going to just, like, how you going to do that?
Let's say it's like, And it's funny, I say this in my intro. You know, like when you go to Costco and you can make your rounds,
yes,
you can come back. So, you know what I'm saying? It's still, you still got that abundance, but it's like, I'm just gonna boom speed you. If you want, you could just circle back to it if you want more. You get me? They always just, you know, give me 5 minutes and they gonna, you know, but, And with this EP, I have features on it.
Okay.
I've had features in the past, but not that I was hesitant or reluctant to reach out for features. It just had to be right. Yeah. Like certain songs I hear and I only hear myself, but specifically on this EP, there's specific songs I'm like, yeah, I gotta tap another Queens fellow artist, three other Queens fellow artists to help me out. So
okay. Are we looking at Nikki?
Yeah, I love.
Are we looking at Ice Spice? And you know, this is I'm not even gonna. You know, shout out to this girl right here, Scarlett. Definitely. If you know, there's a few other people, female hip hop artists that are coming out that I think are really, you know, really good. So definitely keep your eye open for other people. But you know, I'm ready for you to like kind of just tear it up somewhere. And then he's talking about hors d'oeuvres. So, like, how am I supposed to take that?
I mean, you know, it's the good kind. I'm not cheaping y'all out.
But no, that's what's up, though, because, you're going to keep people intrigued. They're definitely going to want to come back for more. Yeah. So that's good. All right. So when's your next show? When's your shows coming up?
My next show right now, actually have to reschedule one. But I have some shows coming up in July. I have a showcase in July coming up, probably end of July.
Okay.
So I'm just finalizing some things right now. Okay. I do have a show at the end of this week. It's like a cypher more type of thing instead of an actual show. But
how do you feel about that? How do you feel about doing cyphers and?
You know, it's so crazy. So okay, I started rapping. Well, I've been rapping all my life. I grew up around old boys. I played basketball. It was always that. Competitiveness.
Are you? So you're not the only sibling?
No, I have an older brother, older sister. I'm the youngest.
Okay.
But around my age group, like out of all the 18 grandchildren, it's like girl, boy, girl, me, boy. So it was always me and the boys, and then my older sister because she's kind of in that weird age range, but. It was always competitive between basketball, and then we started dibbling and dabbling with the music.
Okay.
And I always played around with it, but then in 2017, my homegirl was like, yo, go to the studio. Because I think I went to a party, and I was just saying a freestyle. And it was like, yo, you should try it. Okay. And I tried it out. But when I first started, my first show was in Cali, but a lot of the type of shows I would take would be cyphers. Okay. And a lot of the people that I've encountered is really through ciphers, like Loaded Lux. I've, grew a nice relationship with. A few other people in the battle rap community. I'm really good friends with DJ G Money, who's tied with Queen's Flip. Everybody knows Flip. He's crazy. He's hilarious. And his guy, G Money, shout out to Flip. And shout out to G Money. Like, he was really somebody I met at a cypher. Okay. And I just tagged him in all my music. Okay. And he was like, yo, come to the show. And since then, it's been nothing but love. Plus, he's from Queens, and his people know my people. It's
okay. Like, all right, so it's a given. Okay.
Yeah, so, but yeah, where was I going with that? When did I start rapping? I forgot where I was going with that. But yeah. Ciphers.
Just the ciphers. Your experience.
I think for me, the ciphers really help like grow my fan base, like with Instagram and stuff like that, because when I'm in a room, it's like guy, girl. And you might have another girl that's in the event, but she might be singing during the interlude. So it's like, who's this other girl? Yeah. And, I'm an introvert. I'm very quiet. I'm shy. I'm timid. And when they see me coming through my thing, it's like, whoa. And I think that really has pushed me out there. And then once I, into song making, it's like, oh, you can make songs too. Because a lot of people thought I battle rapped, and I'm like, I don't. Okay. I do not.
I was just about to ask you about that. Like,
I do not.
Like, do you enjoy that?
John the Don, I grew a great relationship with him. He booked me for something randomly. Well, his manager booked me. And I was like, I never said I battle rap. But yeah, so... Yeah, man,
So, You already know we have so much going on in the hip hop world. DC Fly just lost his, I'm gonna say wife, children's mother. Very sad. And you know, it also made me think of self-esteem. A lot with young girls on how they view themselves and, you know, things of that nature. And as far as just like a motivating person, being an artist, what would be your motivational, I guess, speech or thing that you would say to young females that's, you know, because you're going to come across young girls that are going through all kind of different things.
Yeah.
So, you know, like what would just be your number one motivating point?
I would say, like, your self-love is really what is most important because, you know, outside you could be loved by 1,000 people, but if you don't love what's exterior as well as interior, then everything else doesn't matter. I would say even now, just artist-wise, as far as females, like words of encouragement, like I feel like back then that was the stigma with the artists that were out back then. You had Kim, you had Foxy. It was a certain body type, it was a certain figure, it was a certain even skin color. But I feel like now with social media, yes, you go on social media and it's kind of like a virtual world, like what other people worlds look like, but in reality it's not like that. But on the flip side, I feel like the virtue of social media, you could be whoever you want behind this camera. Like someone like me, very introverted. I don't want to go into a room and speak to people, but if I had to put on my phone and go on live and speak to people, I would feel a lot more comfortable. But I say that to say I just feel like, you know, it's really self-love. I'm going to quote my favorite lyricist, J. Cole, is no such thing as a life much better than yours. And I feel like once you hone in on your own securities and, like I said, self-love, then, you know, so just love yourself. Just love yourself. That's really my token of advice.
And I think it's a little different now because back then when we had the Foxies and the Little Kims and a few other artists that were kind of like risque. My personal view is I feel like maybe at that time they didn't have the strength to say no. Like, I'm not wearing that. I'm not doing that. Like, I'm here for this. You know what I'm saying? Y'all caught me here for this. So this is what I'm here for. All of this that y'all want me to show shouldn't even matter because that's, you know, so I'm just thankful that the generation that's here now, a lot of them are strong enough to say, look, listen to what I'm saying. Forget what I'm wearing. You know, like, don't focus on that. Listen to what I'm saying. I have a point to make. So definitely shout out to y'all for that. And what do we have in store? What's in store? I mean,
this EP, I'm telling you, this EP I'm working on is really, I'm working on like a visual, a whole like, I don't want to say a motion picture to it, but every song I wanted to lead into each other and you can visually see it. Because I feel like I have a lot to talk about. Like and that's why I say hors d'oeuvres, because I could do a Shantae's Interlude Part 2 and even divulge even more into certain things. Like, for example, on Shantae's Interlude, I think I mentioned my grandmother. She's from, my people, we're from this really small town in North Carolina. I think I Googled the population the other day. It's like 892. And 600 got to be families, though. But I say that to say, now I kind of want to elaborate on that. Like, I had to talk with my grandmother, and I'm just learning things now. Like, she just turned 90. She had to graduate later because she had to pick cotton. And when you think, you know, when you sit in school and you learn about civil rights and slavery and cotton, that's not too many generations, you know. So it's just like,
you have a great-grandparent, great-great-grandparent that probably even maybe a grandparent that have lived that life that can tell you those stories. And my mind is just that whole time that, you know, we had to endure. I just feel like I wouldn't have survived. I'm like, my mouth, it wouldn't have worked out for me too well.
They were like, you talk too much.
Yes, you thinking and talking, and no, that's not going to work. It's not going to work, yes.
But yeah, like, it's so much more that I want to just, like, elaborate on and just, like, but then not just, you know, tell a song and just tell a story. Oh, my mother picked cotton, and she had to walk 2 miles to school, but, like for example, right, I have a song called Dollar Bill, and I started off talking about my uncle. And how
Did he pass away? Is that the one?
Yeah, but
okay.
Yeah, that's my real uncle. But this is the ideology.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just an uncle, and right. But this
gotcha.
uncle, right? Every time I get paid, he takes a portion of it. And then the same uncle said that my brothers were 3/5 of a man, and put them in the can for selling marijuana. So I'm talking about Uncle Tom, right? But I'm using actually a skit. Well, not really a skit. A conversation with my grandmother with her talking about it is going to lead into that. But listen,
she's trying to teach y'all something too. She's trying to teach y'all something out here.
So I'm just thinking of different creative ways to.
I like that. I like that.
But
That's
yes,
good.
that was my uncle from the other song. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a different uncle. Okay. All of our uncles, unfortunately.
right. All of our uncles.
Not Uncle Tom. I said Uncle Tom. I meant Uncle Sam.
I said Uncle Sam.
Tom.
Okay.
I meant Uncle Sam.
okay.
But yeah, so yeah, I mean that's what it is right now.
So, just to keep you abreast of how things are going to be working here, since you did this interview with AKA Promotions, I will be calling you back for other featured events. We're really going to have one big celebration of every artist that I'm going to have on the panel that I interview, and it's going to be an opportunity for you guys to just show your talent. You know, there's really no restrictions on what you guys will be able to say or rap or rhyme or anything. It's basically for you to go out there and show what you're going to do. So, you know, have a few producers lined up, have a few record label people lined up. So, you know, this is definitely not going to be the last time that you hear from me. We definitely going to be doing this again. I love your energy. Yo, she is so pretty, isn't she?
Oh, thank you, y'all. Thank you. And I love you. I feel at home, like, you know?
And that's what I want. Yes, that's how I want you to feel. That's the vibe. That's the energy. I thank you for being so patient with me, and just waiting out, you know, to switch to the studios and everything. You already know I've been following you for a minute, so having you here is just like, oh, it's such a treat.
Thank you for having me. Like I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. So this was the perfect time.
Yes, you already know. And you got your mug. So yes, we give treats when you come. And I think we have a question. So we're about to get to this question real quick.
Oh man, the tough basketball IQ question. You know, so funny. I'm a Kobe fan, and I want number 24 like Kobe once he switched to 24. It's so crazy. To me, you know, growing up as a Kobe fan is like, how did y'all just skip right over Kobe? When I watch Kobe, I see Jordan, his mannerisms, the chewing gum, the hands on the knees, but if I had to choose, I mean, I hate to take away from LeBron's legacy, but Jordan thugged it out one team and did what he had to do, and I feel like LeBron, him leaving from team to team, and I feel like he could go to the Brooklyn Busters and get, you know what I'm saying? He could create his team right now and still have a squad because he's LeBron. And I love LeBron, disclaimer, but I feel like the teams he's gone to, he's had the help. It wasn't like, this is my team, I'm going to put them on my back. I feel like Jordan had the help as well, but I don't feel like Jordan, if he had the option, he would seek to go to the Celtics and play with, you know what I'm saying, with Bird, the way that
played with Isaiah's team.
Yeah, the same way like Durant went to Golden State. So it's like, it's a different time, it's a different competitiveness, and that's what my father always says, like, this era of basketball versus then is just different. So I'm gonna have to go with Jordan, but I love LeBron.
All right, one more.
Okay.
Hip hop, baby or pop?
That's another one because Pac, for me, is Pac, but it's not fair. And my mother, she's diehard Brooklyn. When she sees this, she's gonna be mad. But I just feel like Pac just had just so much more material to just go through, and an evolution of material. Like, you could listen to one song and say, all right, this is young Tupac. Then you listen to another song and it's like, oh, this is when he was wilding with Suge. And it's like, you could just hear it and you could see it. I feel like Biggie was cheated. He did have a different style when he started. His style is like none other. Coming out in the 90s, that swag. So I feel like if we would have gave Biggie 5 to 10 more years, we could have a better dispute. But I feel like I don't know. I want to say Biggie because I know more Biggie songs because I can't say I know a good 50% of Tupac's discography because he has so much. Like I don't. Yeah. So I might have to say Biggie, but Tupac just different. Just different.
Pac also lived like all different places in the country, so he lived
his outlook on things was so different.
Yeah.
He had a lot more different experiences, so he had a lot more stuff to say than Biggie.
Right.
But, Biggie's still.
And I think Tupac was very mature for his time. Very mature. So I think he shared information that the world wasn't ready to hear yet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All right. So we are going to wrap this up. I think I already told you we're going to be in touch. We know. So dates. Do you have any dates when this new...
I always jinx myself when I put out a date.
I hear a lot of people say that, like they don't like to give a specific date. Okay, a month.
All right, month. I'm pushing for August, but the way I want this visually to come out, I might have to wait till September.
Okay. Okay.
But I'm pushing for August, September. Yeah, I'm trying to. It's only an EP, so it's like it's really 7 tracks minus the conversation skits I have is maybe a solid 5 songs. So
okay. Oh, and just to ask real quick, because you mentioned your father is so heavily supported in your life and anything like that. He's not a hip hop artist. He just listens to hip hop.
Yeah,
okay,
heavily influenced though, because he grew up. Well, he knew Run DMC and them.
Okay.
My uncle ran hard with Supreme and them.
Okay.
So
yeah, you hear him laughing because that's that. Yeah, he knows. He knows.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
okay. All right.
So, yeah.
All right. So that's what's up. Well, like I said, shout out to your dad because just to hear father being so supportive and he was into your sports, into the rapping and all of that. So that's just great to have.
And I know because she's gonna watch it. Shout out to my mother too, because she's gonna be right there watching
it. Yes.
Like,
shout out to mom.
Shout out to mommy too. She's my.
We already know. Yes, we already know.
I hear her coming up the block like, is she that me playing?
Looking at your videos, you ever thought about like acting, trying out for like roles or?
Somebody told me to. My cousin, he shot my Cascade video. He was like, you should get into acting, but I don't know. I feel like I'll freeze up. Like it's weird. I'm an introverted. I don't know. I'm weird. But somebody asked me that before, and I may consider it.
That's something you should definitely look into.
Yeah, I may consider it.
Because that's a whole nother lane that yes,
it definitely is,
yes,
money.
Videos and all of those stuff you can do. TikTok is crazy now with all of those stuff you can do on there. Might as well utilize all of these. Have you looked into the Spotify? Are you all up on Spotify and
like my music? Like is my music? Like
no, I asked because they have like podcasts.
Oh,
so
okay.
Like your interviews and your things that you do. Would you ever be willing to put that on a platform like that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely would. And it's funny because I've done interviews in the past, but I feel like I've been creating reels out of them, and people reach out to me like, oh my gosh, you're a cool person. It's like, did you think I wasn't? And they're like, no, we just
sometimes hip hop. Yeah, a lot of people figure hip hop, you're rough, we kind of like, I'm from New York. Fuck, I look like smiling and saying good morning.
Saying good morning.
Yes.
Or it's like, they're like, oh, we just see you post and rap. We don't, hear you talk. So I'm like,
there's a whole personality behind that.
I'm a whole person, y'all. I'm a whole person. So
that's what's up. Well, definitely, y'all stay on the look. Her link is all over my page, so definitely hit up my Instagram page, Street Media, S.STREET Media. Yes, I want to make sure y'all find the right place. S.STREET Media. Footage will be on there. Bio, info, all of that. Definitely links will be available on my Instagram page. So definitely come through, play back this, find out everything you need to know about Fancy. I'm so happy that she came. I thank you. We definitely going to do this again.
Yes.
We're going to do this again. Thank y'all for everybody that's watching.
Thank y'all for having me.
And shout out Street Media. Yo, let me tell you real quick before I get off the air. If you are interested in doing a podcast, it really doesn't matter what your podcast is about. If you're interested in really just reaching the masses and touching a whole different audience for your brand, whatever you're trying to do, definitely hit up S.STREET Media. They have a bunch of things going on. You definitely want to tap in and just, get in the know. So I'm out. This is Karen, a.k.a. Promotions. Check back in next Monday, 7 p.m. We will have another artist. I'm not telling you who yet, but just make sure y'all tap in at 7. And we out.